Hello, today I'm reviewing the Breton Tee from the Great British Sewing Bee book From Stitch to Style. As always, if you like this video and would like to see more like this, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. So the yellow top I'm wearing today is the Breton Tee. As I mentioned, it's from this book, From Stitch to Style, one of several Great British Sewing Bee books and another one that I own. So it's from the base pattern, the Breton top. So there's a long sleeved version of this. Essentially it's pretty much the same as this, but you have an additional sleeve piece that you attach. So I fancied making the short sleeved version. As I've mentioned many times, it's quite mild down here in Cornwall, so I thought I'd do a short sleeved copy, and I quite like the look of the short sleeved one as well. It's got grow-on sleeves, as you can see. For the size I've made, I'm pretty sure it's the size 12, and I found that the sizing was quite generous, so I went with that rather than my usual size 14. Moving on to the fabric, so I've used a lemony yellow, I guess you'd call it, fabric. It's a straightforward, it feels like a cotton knit fabric. I'm not entirely sure where I got it from now. It's been in my stash for a while. I'd say it doesn't feel brilliant quality, and it definitely doesn't have any elastane in it, so I'm not sure how long this top is going to survive. It doesn't feel like it will recover if it stretches, and I am a bit concerned that it's gradually going to stretch, not even like this way. I think it's going to horizontally stretch. But anyway, so the fabric wasn't the best. I mean, saying that, you know, it's enabled me to try out this pattern and see whether I like it or not, so I guess that helps. In terms of difficulty, I think this is a fairly straightforward pattern, if you're confident with knits, that is. The main thing I'd say, which is a bit different to perhaps some other knit patterns, is that it's a simple, I think, yeah, it's a facing on the top. So basically there are 4 pattern pieces for this variation. You've got the front piece, you've got the back piece, and then you've got the front facing and the back facing. So rather than a pattern where you put a neckband in, you're just putting a facing on, a bit like you do with a lot of woven based patterns. So in that sense, it's not too difficult. However, another difference with it to other ones is it's got this really nice feature where it's got a little split. It's got a little slit in the side seam, and it's a really nice feature. So I guess if you've started sewing with knits and you want to add a few more skills to your repertoire, it's quite a good pattern. But yeah, it's slightly fiddly doing the little side slit, but not too off-putting. For clarity of instructions, I found them pretty straightforward. So for this pattern, you just follow the same for the Breton top. You just omit the step, which I think is something like step 7, which is attaching the sleeve piece onto the main pieces. I found both the illustrations and the written instructions helpful and easy to follow, although as I mentioned there aren't too many steps to this. For design and fit, I'm still on the fence on this one, to be honest. I'm not entirely convinced I like the neckline. So it's quite a wide neckline on this. And again, it might be just the fabric I'm using. I'm just worried it's going to gradually stretch out and drop off one's shoulder. So something I should have done with this particular garment is maybe add something to stop the neckline stretching out quite so much. So I have got some stay tape, which is stitched, I think, from the neckline to about there on the shoulder seams. However, I probably did need something with a slight more give, so like the stretchy knit stay tape equivalent. I could have done with that all the way around the neck, because I am concerned that it's going to gradually stretch out of shape. Apart from that, I think it's quite a nice length. Normally I prefer having quite long tops, but I think this one's quite good when you don't want a top to be quite so long. For example, when you're wearing it with a cardigan or a jumper, it's nice that the length of this one will actually sit within the length of the jumper or cardigan, because I've got a lot of tops that just fall below the cardigan length. And I do like the little side seam slits as well, which is a nice extra design feature. For time taken, this is achievable within a day quite easily. So to conclude, I probably won't make this pattern again. It's funny because I was really tempted to make the dress hack version as well, but now that I've made it, I'm not convinced that I'm that fond of this neckline, even if I did make it in a fabric with elastane in it so that it recovered a lot better, and I put in some measures to make sure that it didn't stretch out too much. I think I'm probably more likely to make another one of, say, the Molly dress by Sew Over It. But yeah, probably won't make this one again. Although I do think a lot of the issues I have with it is because I've chosen a fabric which may have not been best suited for it. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.